Shocker! Kristen attacks Sarah. The dark truth behind the SLAP and Rachel's twisted game. If you thought the drama at the DiMera mansion was cooling down, you are dead wrong. We are hearing some absolutely explosive spoilers regarding Kristen DiMera and Sarah Horton, and let me tell you, it involves a confrontation so heated. Rumors are swirling that it might turn physical. Yes, you heard me right. We are talking about a potential SLAP heard round the world. But why? Why now? Most spoilers will just tell you Kristen is mad, but you and I know better. We know days of our lives isn't that simple. Today, I'm not just going to tell you what happens. I'm going to tell you why it's happening, and I'm going to lay out a theory that frankly scares me a little bit. It's about Rachel. It's about obsession. And it's about the lengths a Mothra DiMera mother will go to keeping her territory. So, buckle up. We are diving deep into the psychology of Kristen DiMera, the naivety of Sarah Horton, and the dangerous game being played by the youngest schemer in Salem, Brady Black. Let's get into it. 1. The rumor and the escalation. First off, let's address the elephant in the room, the SLAP. The spoilers are screaming that Kristen is going to lash out at Sarah. Now, in soap opera terms, lash out can mean a lot of things. It can mean a verbal evisceration, which Kristen is the queen of. But given the emotional stakes here, I am betting on physical contact. Why do I think this? Because look at the context. We know that next week, Kristen is going to deliver a terrifying warning to Sarah. But we also know that Sarah isn't exactly a shrinking violet. She's a Horton. She's a Kyriakis by marriage, well, ex-marriage. She stands her ground. And I think that is exactly what is going to trigger Kristen. Imagine the scene. Kristen tries to intimidate Sarah. Sarah pushes back with logic or heaven forbid brings up her rights as Brady's girlfriend, and snap. Kristen loses it. But here is where I want to offer a different perspective. I don't think Kristen is attacking Sarah just because she's jealous of Brady's romantic life. That's too easy. That's basic Kristen. I believe this attack is entirely calculated. I think Kristen wants to cause a scene. Why? To paint Sarah as the aggressor in Rachel's eyes. Think about it. If Rachel walks on or if Rachel is listening from the top of the stairs like she always is and sees mean Sarah upsetting her mommy, who wins? Kristen wins. Every single time. This isn't just anger, it's a tactical strike disguised as a loss of control. 2. The Rachel factor, nature versus nurture. Let's shift gears to the real catalyst of this entire storyline, Brady Black. We really need to have a serious conversation about this child. I've seen a lot of you in the comments saying, oh, she's just a kid, she's traumatized, and sure, that's valid. Her parents are Brady Black and Kristen DiMera. That's a recipe for therapy bills for the next 40 years. However, I have a darker theory. I don't think Rachel is just a victim anymore. I think we are witnessing the birth of the next great DiMera villain. We are seeing Alice Halsey play this role with such eerie precision. The spoilers tell us that Kristen's main motivation for attacking Sarah is to protect Rachel. Specifically, because Rachel has a history of volatility when it comes to Brady's girlfriends. Remember Chloe Lane? Remember how Rachel literally threw a dart at her? Or how she screamed and manipulated situations to drive Chloe away? Kristen is using this fragility as a weapon. She's going to tell Sarah, back off, or you will break my daughter. But let's analyze the psychology here. Is Rachel actually fragile? Or has she learned that if she throws a tantrum, mommy destroys the person she hates? It is classic operant conditioning. Kristen rewards Rachel's bad behavior by removing the threat, the girlfriend. So when Kristen warns Sarah next week, she's not saying, please be careful with my daughter's feelings. She is saying, my daughter is a loaded gun, and I'm holding the trigger. Don't make me pull it. 3. The allergy incident, accident, or sabotage. We have to talk about the context of this upcoming confrontation. It's coming hot on the heels of the allergy incident. Rachel apparently apologized for causing an allergic reaction for Sarah. On the surface, this looks like a moment of growth. A sweet moment where a child realizes she made a mistake. But, come on. Do we buy that? I don't buy that for a second. Here is my theory on the allergy situation. I don't think it was an accident. I think Rachel knows exactly what she's doing. We have seen this girl demonstrate knowledge way beyond her years. If she knew Sarah had an allergy and accidentally exposed her to it, that is diabolical. And now, Kristen is using that incident to gaslight Sarah. By having Rachel apologize, it disarms Sarah. It makes Sarah feel guilty for even suspecting the child. It forces Sarah into a position where she has to be the bigger person. So when Kristen confronts Sarah next week, she's going to use that apology as leverage. She'll likely say something like, "Rachel felt so guilty she apologized. She's trying so hard." If you flaunt your relationship with Brady now, you're undoing all her progress. It is masterclass emotional manipulation. Kristen is turning Sarah's own empathy against her. She knows Sarah is a doctor. She knows Sarah's instinct is to heal and protect. By framing the relationship with Brady as a health hazard to Rachel's mental state, she traps Sarah. If Sarah stays with Brady, she's hurting a child. If she leaves, Kristen wins. 4. The PDA warning is set up for failure. Let's get into the specifics of the spoiler. Kristen warns Sarah that she and Brady absolutely cannot show any public displays of affection (PDA) in front of Rachel. No holding hands, no kissing, maybe not even sitting too close on the sofa at the Kyriakis mansion. On paper, this sounds like a reasonable request for a child adjusting to a divorce, right? Wrong. In the world of Salem, this is a trap. I firmly believe Kristen is setting an impossible standard because she knows they will slip up. It is inevitable. They are in love, or whatever version of love Brady is capable of this week. They will share a look, a touch, a whisper. And Rachel, with her eagle eyes, will catch it. My prediction: Kristen is planting a seed in Rachel's head. She's probably telling Rachel behind closed doors, "Daddy promised he wouldn't hug Sarah in front of you because he loves you more. If he hugs her, it means he's lying to you. See what she did there." She sets the rule with Sarah, but she weaponizes the rule with Rachel. So when the inevitable slip-up happens, Rachel won't just be annoyed, will feel betrayed. She will feel unloved. And that will trigger the exact meltdown Kristen is warning Sarah about. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy orchestrated by Kristen DiMera. 5. Sarah's promise, the fatal flaw. The spoilers say Sarah is going to promise Kristen that she won't do anything to hinder Rachel's progress. Oh, Sarah. Sweet, naive Sarah. Why would you make a promise to the devil? This is where I get frustrated with the writing for Sarah's character sometimes. She is an intelligent woman. She is a doctor. She lived with Xander Cook. She should know when she is being played. By making this promise, she has handed Kristen the stick to beat her with. From this point on, anything Sarah does can be twisted by Kristen as hindering Rachel's progress. Brady buys Sarah flowers? You're making Rachel jealous. You broke your promise. Sarah stays over for dinner. You're invading Rachel's safe space. You broke your promise. I think Sarah believes she can reason with Kristen mother to mother, even though Sarah's experience with motherhood has been complicated, to say the least. She thinks if she shows respect for Rachel, Kristen will respect her. But she is forgetting that Kristen doesn't want respect. She wants Brady. She wants her family back. And Sarah is the only obstacle. I argue that Sarah should have stood her ground. She should have said, "I love Brady, and I will be kind to Rachel, but I will not walk on eggshells in my own life." But she didn't. She promised. And that promise is going to be her undoing. 6. The Brady Black problem. We cannot analyze this without talking about the man in the middle, Brady Black. Where is he in all of this? Why is his ex-girlfriend threatening his current girlfriend about his daughter? Brady's passivity is infuriating. He constantly lets Kristen dictate the terms of his life because he is terrified of losing access to Rachel. But I have a controversial opinion here. Brady is enabling Rachel's behavior just as much as Kristen is. By allowing Kristen to set these ground rules, don't touch Sarah, don't upset Rachel, he is validating the idea that his happiness is secondary to his daughter's whims. And look, I get it, kids come first. But there is a difference between prioritizing your child and letting your child and your psycho ex hold your life hostage. I predict that when Kristen attacks Sarah next week, Brady is going to do what he always does. Look confused, stutter a bit, and then probably blame himself. He won't draw the hard line. And because he won't draw the line, Sarah is left unprotected. This is why Sarah is going to get hurt physically or emotionally. Because she is standing alone on the battlefield while Brady is trying to negotiate a peace treaty that doesn't exist. 7. The consequences, what comes next. The spoiler ends with a chilling note. Kristen warns Sarah that if she doesn't keep her promise, there will be consequences. What kind of consequences? This is where we can get into some fun theories. The legal route. Kristen is a DiMera. She has lawyers. If she can prove Sarah's presence is psychologically damaging to Rachel, could she petition for full custody? Could she get a restraining order keeping Sarah away from the child? This would be a nightmare for Brady. The gaslighting campaign. I mentioned this earlier, but I think Kristen might escalate to gaslighting Sarah into thinking she is crazy. Maybe items go missing. Maybe Rachel accidentally gets hurt while Sarah is watching her. Kristen could frame Sarah for child negligence. The physical threat. Let's go back to the slap. If Kristen hits Sarah and Sarah hits back, guess who goes to jail? Guess who looks unstable? If Sarah retaliates, Kristen will fall to the floor like a soccer player faking an injury. She attacked me in front of my child. My money is on a combination of 2 and 3. I think Kristen wants to provoke Sarah into a reaction that can be recorded or witnessed. She wants to prove to Brady that Sarah is the volatile one, not Rachel. So, to wrap this up, next week is not just about a slap. It is about a territorial war. Kristen DiMera is utilizing her most powerful weapon, her daughter, to scorch the earth around Brady Black. Sarah Horton is walking into a trap with her eyes wide shut. She thinks she's making a peace offering, but she's actually signing a surrender. And Rachel is watching it all, learning that manipulation gets you exactly what you want. I want to know what you think. Do you think Rachel is truly acting out of trauma, or is she playing the game? Is Sarah a fool for promising Kristen anything? And finally, if Kristen does slap Sarah, do you want to see Sarah slap her back? I know I do. Let me know your theories in the comments below. I'll be down there reading and replying to the best ones. Don't forget to smash that like button if you're Team Sarah, or, well, even if you're Team Kristen, I know you're out there. Hit like anyway for the drama. Subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss our breakdown of the aftermath next week. Until then, keep watching Days and keep your friends close and your DiMera's closer.